go past your car.
Pete Bethune and his team of extreme conservationists are preparing for another mission.
So we just got word that there's another briefing today. It looks like we're heading right into the next mission. We just wrapped up the last one, so it'll be interesting to see what Pete's got for us this time.
Pete's been known to come up with some pretty insane missions, and I'm definitely okay with going along with him. I'm just hoping that we get to do something really exciting, get the adrenaline going.
All over the world, there are whales and dolphins kept in captivity for entertainment. You may have heard of the bigger facilities in Northern America and Europe, but what you may not have heard of are the smaller parks here in Asia. These are some of the most horrendous conditions possible for cetaceans. When tourists go along and see these, what they perceive as smiling dolphins, they don't understand the hurt that these dolphins go through to provide that entertainment. And so an important part of this mission is to explain to the public it's wrong. We shouldn't be capturing live dolphin out of the wild and putting them in a zoo to entertain ourselves. In Bali, I know there are hotels that, quite unbelievably, have dolphins in human-sized swimming pools that are used to entertain guests. There is also a travelling circus that transports dolphins in a truck.
Keeping dolphins captive in Indonesia is illegal, but facilities use a loophole in the law to profit from their shows.
What these places that want these captive dolphins do is they get themselves classed as a rehabilitation facility, but in reality they have no ambition to release them back into the wild. It's simply a mechanism allowing them to obtain the dolphin, and they then become captive for the rest of their lives.
The sad reality is that these dolphins are captured and sold to commercial operations to fuel people's desires to see these amazing animals up close.
Capturing a dolphin from the wild is a really, really traumatic experience for them. These animals are really intelligent. They live in very, very socially complex groups. And if you rip that dolphin away from its family group and put it in a tiny pool where it just swims in endless circles, this is a really, really horrific and traumatic experience for them.
Our mission is to travel down to Indonesia and steal some of these dolphins.
So Pete's telling us he wants to kidnap a dolphin. I didn't really see that one coming.
We'll then take them to a facility somewhere in Asia where they can be rehabilitated back into the wild. People are going to ask, what's the point? And in some respects, they are right. These parks and hotels can buy another dolphin for something like $400. It's disgusting, really. But what we want to do here is tell a story. We want the public to see that what is going on here is wrong. And if we have to steal a dolphin to get some headlines and get the message out, then that's what we're going to do. Stefan and Philip, I need you to travel down to Indonesia and do a reconnaissance mission. Take some handy cams and pretend that you're on holiday. Gather as much intelligence as you can, bring it back to base, and come up with a plan.
Pete, how long are we going to have to gather this required intel?
This stage, we're looking to send you down for 10 days and see if you can locate where these travelling circuses are. We have one contact there. We're going to give you their details, and that may be a good place to start.
I'm really happy to go on this one. But it will be something really tricky because we will have to steal this dolphin. We don't know how the security is there, but we'll try to work out to find a solution to release at least one dolphin.
In Indonesia, the Forestry Department issues a temporary permit to businesses if they claim the dolphins in their possession were rescued. The law is designed to help injured dolphins caught in fishing nets.
So somebody in the government level of Forestry Department is either being coerced or in cahoots with these companies.
To avoid suspicion from the government, Stefan and Philip will rely on a local non-profit organization for information.
There's a major NGO called the Jakarta Animal Aid Network. They have actually built the largest, most technologically advanced dolphin rehabilitation center.
In 2010, one of the organization's founders, Femke Den Haas gained permission from the government to release over 70 captive dolphins and rehabilitate them in the NGO's official facility. But the plan faltered when the first 2 dolphins due to be released from a restaurant's swimming pool suddenly went missing.
Somebody was in cahoots with the hotel or whichever organization had these dolphins and made sure that this NGO couldn't get them to rehabilitate them.
There's been a number of people have approached the Indonesian government about the captive dolphin situation, and I don't think the government would care, but what the government will care about is the tourists that keep this economy going. And eventually, I believe they will demand that all these dolphins are released. But right now, that pressure's not there.
I'm really taking this one to heart. Most people, they don't care about seeing past what's behind the curtain, and we're going to show the world what's behind the curtain, and it's not good.
Stefan and Philip have made it to Indonesia to scout some of the establishments that make large profits from dolphin shows, while forcing the animals to live in horrific conditions.
They just kind of float around in there, and it's pretty sad. Yeah.
The average Indonesian salary is around 1,000 US dollars a year, and there's a lot of competition for the traveling tourist's dollar. Dolphin shows are a popular way to draw a crowd, making it more difficult to ban this lucrative trade.
If I didn't know what I know about dolphins now, I'd fork over $50 and go and watch one on a show. I'd pay $100 and go and play with the thing in a pool. I think for your average tourist, the idea of swimming with dolphins, it is quite appealing. But in some ways, it's ignorance that allows us to go and do that. And that's what we're trying to stop here.
Stefan and Philip's goal will be to come up with a plan to rescue at least one of these dolphins, transport it to a rehabilitation facility, and eventually release it back into the wild. Their first port of call is Femke Den Haas, founder of local NGO Jakarta Animal Aid Network. They've been campaigning against dolphin captivity here for the last 6 years. In 2010, they put pressure on the Indonesian government to release all its captive dolphins.
There's a lot of young students or young activists who are standing up against the circus. We got some support of local Indonesian public figures. Within 3 months, we got 100,000 signatures handed over to the forestry department. So there was a lot of pressure to the forestry department saying, why don't you release these dolphins? Everybody's getting angry about it.
The forestry department responded, initially agreeing to release over 70 captive dolphins they acknowledged were being held illegally. But on the eve of their release, the department reneged on the deal.
The problem is that there's a lot of money here involved, and once we had the contract signed, the forestry department suddenly made a change in director, and the new director was not supportive of releasing these dolphins, despite all the proofs that we have that these dolphins were taken from the wild illegally, and they're suffering and they're dying all the time.
Kind of like a long road when you're fighting so hard for so long.
Yeah.
And then you don't see any of that progress.
Yeah.
That's definitely frustrating.
So how long it will take to rehabilitate a dolphin?
It really depends on the individual. There's the process of them getting their sonar back, and we have to monitor if they're able to use their sonar again and if they're able to start hunting their own fish again.
Releasing a dolphin back into the wild is a complicated process. If the team is to succeed, they will need to bring in their own expert to advise them on making a sea pen, transporting the dolphin correctly, and rehabilitating it. But first, they will need to do reconnaissance on the target locations to determine how the mission can be achieved.
There is a traveling circus here that actually started 2 days ago, and they just do shows every day, Monday through Sunday, and that's how they make their money. We found out that there have been violence against protesters, so for us it's definitely an unnerving atmosphere. We're a little concerned that because we don't fit in, that they're going to think we're there for other reasons, which we are.
The The circus doesn't limit itself to just dolphins. It offers a selection of animals for the public to view and interact with, including sun bears, which are currently facing a high risk of extinction in the wild.
One of the sun bear put her hand across the cage. And she was crying. It was really bad moment for me.
Shit.
Stefan must put his emotions aside and focus on the security systems at the circus, how many staff are patrolling the area, and if it will be possible to remove one of the dolphins from the pool without being noticed.
Selain lumba-lumba di Indonesia ada 10 jenis lumba-lumba. Kalau di seluruh dunia itu ada kurang lebih 40 jenis.
The size of the pool is just for a normal family, but not for dolphins.
The music is quite loud. I really think that is not very good for the dolphin. I'm just waiting to go out of this place as soon as possible.
The dolphins from the pool have beached themselves, and they're just waiting for food. They're really trying to do whatever it takes for them to get some nutrition.
The water is not really good for them. You can see on the nose that they do have skin problems. Can you imagine these dolphins? It must be really painful for them.
The conditions at the circus are horrific, but Stefan and Philip determined that the security is too tight here to pull off a successful mission.
At the main entrance, the CCTV was in place. We clearly identified 6 cameras. The security is quite high. I guess they are not joking.
Stefan and Philip must leave behind the captive animals and continue their search for a more suitable target.
I've seen dolphins in the wild before, but never up close. You know, their daily habits, they need to be swimming hundreds of kilometers a day for just healthy behavior, and just keeps them mentally sharp, keeps them physically in shape. Putting them into this tiny pen is just 100% unnatural for them.
The next target is a hotel providing daily dolphin shows in its human-sized pool.
When you're ready, you can jump or jump, okay? Right? Yeah. Okay.
One of the dolphins had a clouded eye, and from Nicola's intel that she gave us, it typically is a sign that they've been in chlorine water, which damages their vision, makes them go blind.
It really hurt me. I don't want to say I will cry, but I got the feeling that I was really pissed off. It's just a show. They are using these animals to get money, and it's not the place for them. You can see that they are treated like shit, I will say. I mean, I know that it's a bad word, but I don't understand.
The security levels at the hotel are tighter than at the circus, and running an operation at either location would jeopardize the dolphin's safety and put the team at risk.
We found out that it's not easy to release a dolphin. We will need a lot of human resources, a lot of logistics. I don't want any dolphins to die in my hand.
With our small team, it was best to explore some other avenues.
Stefan and Philip have decided to spend the last days of their reconnaissance surveying a resort island where another dolphin show is operating.
We knew that it was close to the area that we were in, and we were kind of running short on time after we had to scrap the initial plan.
The pool the captive dolphin lives in is the smallest they have seen so far.
Can you see it? It's not even the size for a pool for kids.
They had one dolphin. You could see the nose as visible damage from ramming her nose into the concrete sidewall. Also some damage to the fin, stress buildup. Can't really get that out by being stuck in this tiny pool. He comes up to the water a lot, seemed pretty docile, lethargic. So as far as us getting in there and with a few fish, I think he'll come right to us.
It will be easy to go in.
I didn't see any cameras on the posts that are inside, just that one light that's on the back right corner.
I mean, and we checked also the door. I mean, it's a padlock, but I mean, for me, it seems that they are not using it because I don't think that they expect someone will come to take the dolphin anyway.
So the easiest way to probably get it would be to try and get it into the other sling ready to go in the other pool. And then they bring it up and come out.
Stefan and Philip will take this information back to the team and come up with a plan to strike.
I'm not sure if we can pull it off yet. We'll have to do a lot of groundwork on this, but if we're able to pull it off, it would be huge.
Stefan and Philip have returned to base after locating a dolphin in Indonesia they believe they can rescue from captivity. Their next task is to share the intelligence they've collected and convince the group that their plan can be successful.
We got some footage of the conditions that they're living in, and it's pretty depressing to watch.
The water was filthy. They're just given scraps of fish, and they're forced to perform like a circus freak, basically.
You can hear the music that they're playing, and even for us sitting there, it was annoyingly loud.
70 to 72 dolphins in captivity.
70 to 72 captive dolphins
in Indonesia.
This can't happen. This is just totally and utterly just not right.
That really, really affected me. They shouldn't be kept in captivity at all, let alone conditions as horrific as that. It's just absolutely horrific.
The whole team's ready to do something. After looking at the footage and looking at Stefan and Philip, and it got everybody worked up in the whole group.
We have to do something. So I found a solution. It's high risk. We are in Indonesia. They are not playing.
Stefan and Philip's plan is to travel to the resort island at night by boat, sneak into the dolphin's enclosure, and transport it out on the escape vessel.
We've organized a boat for pickup that will take them to their wildlife refuge rehabilitation center.
They have made arrangements for the dolphin to be rehabilitated in an ocean lagoon off a secret island location. Before the mission begins, Pete, Matt, and Tim will have 2 days to build a suitable ocean pen, while Stefan and Philip analyze current security patterns around the resort at night.
It is ambitious, if nothing else. And you're confident that we secure the dolphins and they will be looked after.
Yeah.
This is by far the most ambitious mission that we've ever looked at. And the news of this will go around the world.
A dolphin rehabilitation expert will accompany the operatives to advise the team on transporting the dolphin safely, monitor the rehabilitation period, and release it back into the wild.
The mission sounds very extreme. The penalties in Indonesia, if you do get caught for doing something like this, I think jail would be a pretty horrendous experience. But I have the utmost respect for them, and I think that they can pull it off.
I will take the risk until the end.
Yeah.
If I have to spend years in jail, I will do it.
Yeah.
Because this shit must stop as soon as possible. So if we can do something, I mean, for sure I'm in.
The operatives have made it to Indonesia. Their target is a resort island that keeps a dolphin in horrific conditions and profits from tourists paying to see it in a daily show. Pete hopes rescuing the dolphin from captivity will will shine a spotlight on the industry here and put new pressure on the government to release all captive dolphins.
Launch it. Throw it.
Back left.
The penalties for breaking the law in Indonesia are harsh, and if the team is caught, they could face jail time.
The team is nervous, and you can see it on everyone's faces. But everyone knows that something needs to be done. We want to show the world what is going on here, and hopefully we can safely get this dolphin out of its prison and back into the wild.
Before the mission begins, the team will split in two. Stefan and Philip will do a reconnaissance of the area where the dolphin is being kept and plan the details of the mission.
Stefan and I have been working together a lot, so we're going to continue on that trend and check out the security and the feasibility of being able to take this dolphin.
Pete, Matt, and Tim have traveled to a secret location where they'll have 36 hours to build a suitable pen for the dolphin to stay in while it is being rehabilitated.
Once you take a dolphin out of captivity, you can't just go releasing them back into the wild. You need to put it through a rehabilitation program to teach it to go foraging for food again. So we've got the secret location, and we build ourselves a dolphin sea pen.
I used to work on docks, guys. I got this.
A dolphin expert has secretly been brought in to monitor the rehabilitation process and release.
We can't say who they are or where they're from to protect their identity, but they will be advising us on this and making sure the dolphin isn't harmed.
We're going to need to cut another section separate from this line.
If the team manages to rescue the dolphin, it will remain in the care of the undercover expert until it is ready to re-enter the wild.
Keep in mind, this dolphin's 200 kilos. Like it gets its nose under 6 inches, it's going to be gone. Like there needs to be enough weight to stop.
Yeah, that won't be a problem. We'll just take bits of coral and just fill in those gaps.
The sea pen is the perfect place for it to be able to practice its sonar, which is often damaged in captivity, but needed for navigation and catching fish. It will also go through medical screening to prevent transmitting diseases into wild populations.
We've got a mission in, give or take, 30 hours. So we're really feeling the pressure right now. We gotta get this thing done as quickly as possible, get back, and then we'll get briefed by Phil and them as to what the actual actions on objective will be for the mission.
At the resort island, Stefan and Philip are doing night surveillance of the dolphin's enclosure.
We're in our little ocean hut. It's over the water. We got a pretty clear view of the dolphin pen. We're gonna keep watching out here probably until about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and see what kind of activity, if there's any roving patrols, things like that. But right now, it seems pretty quiet. After about 1:30, I didn't see anyone moving around the island, walking around. It was very quiet. So for me, that's a really good sign that they don't really expect anything to happen, and these guys aren't really paying much attention to their security concerns at night.
I mean, the good thing is no activity around the pool, nothing.
With little security operating after 1 a.m., the team will come in at night by boat and jump the wall of the facility. Philip will open the side door by force so that the team can exit with the dolphin on a special stretcher.
We will head back to Jakarta and we will give the briefing, and then we will prepare the mission with the rest of the team. Definitely tomorrow we will be ready.
Actually, Nana, grab on the other side of my hand here.
Tonight, Pete Bethune and his team will travel to an island by boat and rescue a captive dolphin.
That looks good. Where you bunch it up with a slack at, man? I'm just trying to bunch it up. It puts a huge ball.
The dolphin will be transported to a lagoon where a rehabilitation expert can prepare it to be released back into the wild.
The fence may look small, but they don't jump over them. So even though they've been trained to jump quite high distances in swimming pools, for some reason they're not inclined to go jumping out of these enclosures.
There's enough space for it to definitely swim around, and hopefully in a few weeks they'll set it free and be a happy dolphin for the rest of its life.
Everything is in place now. We're just waiting on Stefan and Philip, who've been assessing the target location. They will brief us on the mission, and then tonight we are off to steal a dolphin.
Stefan and Philip have arrived back with their mission plan. The team's undercover expert has advised them on the safest way to transport the dolphin. Captivity activist and UK military veteran Rob has been a supporter of Pete's campaigns for years.
We're still going to need people to stop the dolphin doing this. Yeah.
When the team needed additional assistance, he was happy to help.
Ever since I've been involved in marine conservation, I've been totally against the idea of captive dolphins, orcas, so I jumped at the chance. We're fortunate to have a really good team of ex-special forces who reconned and planned the mission. I'm hoping that there are no problems. I really don't want to spend any amount of time in a jail in this country. Morally, we're right, but legally, who knows?
He'll be responsible for ensuring that they follow the rehabilitation expert's advice on transporting the dolphin.
So basically the plan is with the boat, we will come until here. Rob, Matt, Tim and myself will climb this wall and then go straight to the pool. Matt and Tim, you will jump on the water and we will prepare the stretcher. When we got the dolphin, the gate will be opened by Philip, and we have to walk with the dolphin something like 20 meters maximum. Then we will jump on the boat. I mean, the depth of the water is something between 70 and 80 centimeters. So, you know, it would be maybe a big job for you, Pete.
The enclosure where the dolphin is right next to the ocean. My job is to take the boat as close to this as possible, drop the guys off, and then return when they're ready for pickup. And this sounds like an easy task, but it's not. And if the vessel gets stuck, we are in serious trouble.
I don't know how long it will take us. I hope it will be really fast, because the main things for this mission is speed.
Stefan is running the show on this one. We're all following his lead, not only because I like the guy, but because I trust him. He knows everything there is to know about basically taking down a mission of this magnitude.
There's people around the world who would love to rescue a dolphin out of captivity, and there's very few people get the chance. And you know, in many ways we are kind of blessed to have this opportunity. It's not something everyone would want to do, but you know, we do have the chance to make a little bit of history tonight. You know, I'm privileged to have all you guys, you know, here and willing to back yourself, and this will make a difference. It will be a really positive step for dolphins in captivity here, I believe. After you do your mission brief, but before the mission actually happens, I hate that period of time, and adrenaline's starting to pump around your body, and I do get nervous and anxious about it, and I don't enjoy that period of time at all.
There is definitely a risk that if we get caught that we are in a lot of trouble. So that is in the back of my mind, but in the forefront of my mind, it is just the mission and focusing on getting the mission accomplished. And once we get the dolphin out of the swimming pool and onto the boat and out of the area, I'm not going to be worried about anything.
Everybody knows their jobs, everybody knows their roles. We're gonna get in here, rescue this dolphin, and get out, hopefully in less than 5 minutes. We'll see what happens though.
go this side, not this side, because we will pass through the
main, where the main office is?
Yeah, to the main office and everything. 30 seconds. Seconds.
Philip jumped out of the boat. I was leading the rest of the team.
Philip breaks the lock on the door so that they can exit with the Dolphin. While Stefan, Matt, Tim and Rob are jumping over the fence. Philip, it's also his job to keep watch if anyone should be in the area.
We all went to our spots. We got the stretcher in the water. We did our first plan of trying to lure the dolphin in with a fish.
The dolphin's just gonna eat this fish right away. It's gonna be easy. You drop the sling in, slap a fish on the water, dolphin's gonna slide right into the sling. That wasn't really the case.
So Tim and I got in the water and we were trying to get the dolphin cornered and corral her over to the stretcher, but that didn't work as well.
The dolphin's very curious, kind of poking its head up in the corner, looking at us like, who are these people dressed in all black? I don't know.
We tried to find another solution because timing for me was one of the most important things. I took the chance to tell them to go to the other side of the pool and then try to bring the dolphin to our corner.
Took a little work because the dolphin is fast.
The way the dolphin was acting, it will take us hours, and we didn't want to stay there and compromise the mission.
They are still in there, and I was starting to get very nervous by myself out there in the boat. These guys need to get out of there, and they need to get out of there soon, hopefully with a dolphin.
We got her into the corner, and at that point in time, I was able to wrap my arm around her rear fin and lift it out of the water. Then we were able to slide the sling in the water and get her loaded onto that and out of the pool.
As these guys are heading back to the seawall, I get on the seawall to start signaling to Pete to come back in.
I see 3 flashes, and what Phil's doing, Phil's going like this on his headlamp. My job is to come in and pick them up.
It was a pretty amazing feeling, seeing that dolphin in the stretcher, having these guys on the seawall waiting for the boat to come up.
As I drive in, the wind, there's a gust of wind comes in and it suddenly pushes me about 10 meters further to starboard of where I was trying to land. And I know there's going to be 4 guys standing there with this 150-kilo dolphin. They're not going to be able to move along the side of this wall and line up with me. I need to line my boat up.
We're standing here on this wall with this 400-pound dolphin, like, come pick us up.
There's 4 guys standing there with this dolphin. I need to line my boat up. Smack as the bow hits the seawall. Oh. It's like this magician's trick out of the darkness. I see those 4 guys walk on with that dolphin.
A little bit rough, right? Watch out for a tail. Yep.
For me, the most important thing it was to not injure the dolphin.
Yeah, basically right now we have to keep the dolphin calm. It's a bit stress. I mean, the way we catch him, it was a bit stressful for him. We are doing the maximum to make this trip for him on a good way.
We had her in a small inflatable kiddie raft because it kept her in place so she wasn't really sliding around. Rob, being the most knowledgeable about dolphins, he was in charge of being with her and making sure that she was not overheating. We had a wet trowel draped around her and then maintaining water away from the blowhole and from her face, so he did a real good job.
It's cool to know that we've just rescued this dolphin, and she's right here in front of me. There is a sense of a huge accomplishment and a sense of pride with the team that we've just done this. And just as soon as we can get her into the sea pen and start her rehab program, then we'll know that the mission is fully accomplished and over at this point.
Back to the right of the street.
Slow, guys, slow.
Once we get to the sea pen, what we do is we put the inflatable kayak down in the water and we gradually deflate the various chambers. You can see as she's putting her head up and looking, and water starts to lap in, and she knew. And suddenly you saw her like starts to flip her head over, and then she starts to flap her tail.
Yeah, she's ready.
How cool is that? That is one of the coolest things you can ever do in your life.
It was absolutely worth everything that this team has done, the risk, the dangers that we encountered, all the challenges that we went through. It was definitely worth it.
Can't believe we fucking pulled it off. Well done, boys. Outstanding effort.
You know, I did a lot of things on my life, but I will never forget this one. It's an exceptional mission for me.
There's few people in this world willing to go and face risks like that for the sake of saving a dolphin. A lot of people say they're prepared for it, but when it comes to fronting up on that boat and jumping ashore on that island and putting that dolphin in that sling, it takes a big set of balls, and I am super proud of this team.
The team won't be able to witness the rehabilitation and release. In a few hours, they will leave the country and head back to base to prevent any links being made between them and the captured dolphin.
We have only rescued one dolphin out of captivity. Indonesia has somewhere around 70. in captivity as we speak. In the grand scheme of things, you could say, look, it's not a big impact. You've only saved one, but it's the public that allows these places to continue functioning and allows these places to continue to make profits. And I'm hoping that this episode will start to make people understand this industry is wrong. It doesn't belong in modern society. We need to have these places closed down.
I can only imagine how happy they were to release that dolphin after it's been in such a horrible environment. I'm really, really proud of them.